Welcome to the Poor Man's Gourmet Kitchen, where we share gourmet recipes at a low-budget wonder. Now check this out.
Here I've got 1 pound of sea scallops still in their purchased bag. It's important to know the liquid that's left around each scallop in this bag. This is the juice given off from each scallop, and we want to save this juice by straining it into a bowl. This is one of the key ingredients to making a good saffron sauce for scallops. If you were cooking chicken, you'd use chicken broth to make your saffron sauce. And this is a perfect amount left over for our scallops. And the secret to get a real good sear is to make sure that these are pat dry and at room temperature before you cook them. If you skip one of these steps, you are not going to have that golden brown colored sear that everybody loves to see on their scallops. Now for seasoning, all I do is hit them with a little kosher salt and pepper, and I keep it at a very bare minimum. Sea scallops are already so delicious they only need to be slightly enhanced to really enjoy that full flavor. Although I do like to add a nice all-purpose seasoning like this one here over the top as well. Again, however, ever so lightly. And this has garlic and onion powders and a few other ingredients, so if you don't have this exact brand, just use something similar that'll help flavor them up. Now in a hot pan, I'm going to melt down some bacon grease. I'm going to cook these the exact same way I showed you how to do the sea scallops with the Asian secret sauce. I'm going to add the full pound of scallops to this pan and not worry about overcrowding one bit. If these scallops were cold, we'd have a problem, but again, remember, room temperature is the key. And after 2.5 minutes, you can go ahead and flip them over, and as you can see, I've got a nice golden sear. So as you can clearly see, it really is just as simple as I'm showing you. And it does help to use a non-stick pan, by the way. Are you liking the way these are looking? Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. Now we're going to go ahead and quickly salt and pepper the turned side of these scallops. Again, very lightly. They only need to spend another minute in this pan before they're fully cooked. Then you want to quickly pull them out. Now if you'll notice all the browning left in the bottom of the pan, all of that resin. You've probably seen it after you've cooked chicken or steak. But we need that to make our sauce. Just add some chopped garlic and just stir it in until it turns white. Then I like to add a sweet vermouth, but you can add a white wine instead if you prefer. Just want to deglaze the bottom of this pan. If you're not familiar with that term, it just pretty much means the liquid lifts everything that's sticking to the bottom of your pan. It's no big deal. But it does add a ton of flavor. I'm going to add that scallop juice. Now if you don't have scallop juice with your scallops when you purchase them, you can buy clam juice, and that'll work just as well. You can usually find it in your grocery store by the canned tuna. Now whipping cream. Now I'm stirring this in over medium heat, and I'm going to work it in until I start seeing some bubbles. At which point I'm going to go ahead and add some dried chives and grate in some Parmesan. Actually, this is Romano, I just like it better, but most people can't tell the difference. At this point it's good to whisk all the ingredients together. And thank goodness my whisk has a silicone layer around the outside, or I'd be ruining my pan right now. Now I drop the heat down to a simmer and I add cold butter. This will help to cool down and thicken the sauce. Now it's time for our star ingredient, the saffron. If you don't know much about this, it is expensive. In fact, the only reason why I have some is because my wife gave it to me for my anniversary. Just a pinch is all you're going to need. And just as soon as I get all that butter melted in the pan, I go ahead and get back to the whisk. All of these ingredients have a tendency to separate from each other if they're not really mixed well, so make sure you mix them good. By now the sauce should be thick enough. It should look something like this when you pull your spoon through. It's also a good time to go ahead and give it a quick taste. See if you need to season with salt and pepper. Now just look at that color. This is why they call it liquid gold. I tend to use a rubber spatula because I don't want to waste a single drop. What was your experience like the first time you tried this sauce? Let me know in the comments below. Now we can go ahead and spoon some down on a plate. I'm going to go ahead and do this whole thing in real time for you. Add each scallop one by one. Then I like to garnish and top it off with some scallions. And there you have it, scallops with saffron sauce right here in the Poor Man's Gourmet kitchen.
Thank you for watching, and be sure to stop by PoorMansGourmetKitchen.com for more recipes and exact ingredients.